Welcome to Heavy Metal Bake Sale. I'm Prairie Dog.
Special K.
And Catfish.
Tonight we're going to be going over this week's album picks. So each of us has collected an album that we think is a really good starting point for the artist, and we're going to go ahead and review that to you so that you can kind of know what tracks we like and what we think is good about it. Kevin, you want to go ahead and start off with yours?
My first album is I guess it's metal. This band's heavily influenced by 90s grunge, but nowadays it's more bass metal level. And that's Royal Thunder, and this album is Wick. It just recently came out about last year. I saw this band on a tour with Ghost, and that's how I got turned on from. They opened for Ghost. This is a female-fronted band. There's a girl named Melanie Perrimmons. I can't pronounce her name, but she fronts the band. She sings and plays bass. The band as a whole is very talented. This album is pretty cool. She actually does some rough vocals on there, but generally they're pretty clean. She's a very talented singer and very talented bass player as a whole. This album, Wick, is my recommendation. I recommend checking out April Showers and Burning Tree, some good tracks on here. Also, The Sinking Chair are also great tracks off this album. I'll put a link in the description down below. This band is also from Georgia, by the way. So they're from Atlanta, Georgia. So interesting.
See how they do it down in Georgia.
The band, I know their lead singer, Melanie there, she has a very heavy accent. It doesn't come through in her singing, but I've seen her talk a few times. Interesting fact about her, when I saw her live, she's definitely not comfortable on stage. For a front woman for a band, that's not probably a good thing. I saw some videos too, and she's not particularly comfortable being in front of a camera either. It's very interesting. You think they're still relatively unknown, even though this band started in 2004 supposedly. So they've been out for a while. But like even on YouTube, their most popular songs only have maybe 100,000 views, which is not very much.
Yeah.
Catfish, you want to go with your pick?
So I have a pick. It is Evil Urges by My Morning Jacket. My Morning Jacket is one of my personal favorite bands. It's also a local band coming out of here in Louisville. And I think Evil Urges is a good starting point. It came out back in 2008, so it's about 10 years old. They've released stuff since then, and they have plenty of stuff before then. And what I like a lot about this album is them as a band, and from album to album, their sound changes, and they do different stuff with each different album. And in this particular album, they do a lot from song to song. So I think it really kind of gets you in, like, as a starting point, it gets you in the mindset that, like, all right, they're not always going to do the exact same sounding thing. They're going to do something different each time. And so some of the songs that I like, especially off it, are the title track, Evil Urges. Some of the more mainstream ones are Touch Me, I'm Gonna Scream Part 2, which is actually featured in an episode of American Dad.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that episode.
It's so good.
It's a good one. I also like Highly Suspicious. That's a kind of a really weird song. Jim James does some really weird high-pitched stuff with his vocals that he doesn't do a whole lot else. I really enjoy Sec Walkin'. It's more of a chilled, more laid-back song, but again, that just shows the range and the difference between these different songs on this album, and I think it gives you a really good overview of what the band as a whole has to offer.
That's a really great pick. I mean, honestly, I get behind that.
Yeah.
My pick for the week is a little different. It's Discovering the Waterfront by Silverstein, and this wasn't their debut album. This was their second album, but I think this is the album where they most came into their sound. Notable tracks off of it are Discovering the Waterfront, the title track. Let's see, Call It Karma was really popular. My Heroine. Those tracks kind of got the most mainstream attention, but I think the tracks that if you want my honest recommendation that you should look to are songs like Your Sword versus My Dagger, Always and Never, Already Dead, Ides of March. These are the songs where Silverstein's character really seems to come out on this album, and where you can find those really deep and meaningful songs. It's a post-hardcore album, so if you're not into that, you may not like it, but I think it's especially important to mention Shane Told is a very, very talented vocalist, so a lot of their songs may not even sound characteristic of the genre because he's just such a good singer. I mean, there really are those people out there where just anything they touch is golden. So one of my favorite bands. I highly recommend you check it out.
All right, well, that's been our pick of the week. I'm Special K.
I'm Prairie Dog.
And I'm Catfish.
Thanks for watching.
Yay.